It's Madden NFL 23, and we'll play host to a battle between conferences. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints under the lights on Sunday night.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the venerable Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Tonight we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. Again, everybody, alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that can have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Has this one teed up, and we are underway from the Superdome. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led out by a 3-time Pro Bowler, owner of over 35,000 passing yards in 11 seasons, the veteran Andy Dalton.
I love his football IQ. I love his ability to have people rally around him. And as he likes to remind me all the time when I get ready to call one of his games, I can run it a little bit too. A nice presence to have on your team.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. Well, for Alvin Kamara, that speed-size combo, just about exactly what you want for a running back, and he uses that size, that strength to bust through a would-be tackler there.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for, because you know all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him, or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. Touchdown! Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms, because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Bengals getting set for their first possession of the ball game and leading them out in his 3rd season. Really the face of Cincinnati football, Joe Burrow.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Burrow. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
We're going to just keep this line on a loop because we say it so often. First down, Tyler Boyd. He's thrived in a high-volume role for the Cincinnati Bengals, averaging almost 80 catches and 950 yards a season over the last 4.
On 2.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. And he's got his big tight end here. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 25-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Here we go, here we go.
Again, it's Burrow. That's the tight end, Hurst with it. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. A nice gain there to his trusty tight end, and now it's got them thinking opening drive touchdown here as they get into the red zone.
And in most cases with your tight end, you feel like you've got a mismatch no matter who's covering it. Is it a small cornerback? Is it a linebacker who may not run as well? In any event, whatever you see, you think that tight end can win that battle.
Now we're 1st and 10 at the 11. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. Again, that's Hurst. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away.
Here we go.
And that'll bring up 2nd down. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You may also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down.
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Burrow on 3rd down. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss a one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. McPherson's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. As the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study.
He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 37 yards.
As we've seen over the years, offensive coordinators will often ease their way into drives. Many of them don't want to risk a turnover, put their defense in a bad spot, but not in this case.
Not at all. Forget about easing into it. They took a shot. It worked. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Dalton here from the gun. And it's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. "12 yards there, good for a Saints 1st down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy's setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. 31 yards for Alvin Kamara as his guys are able to extend their lead. And that CD, one heck of a run. He just refused to go down.
And that's where determination comes in, because he had at least a couple of guys had really good shots at him, but he just said, I don't think so. Speed, power, elusiveness, all on display right there. Look like you, partner, back in your salad days in Evansville.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. On 3rd down, Burrow. Open man, it's complete to Higgins. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Burrow looking to pass. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
11 Thomas, 11 MT, 11, 11, 12,
Mixon with a first down carry. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pick.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? And going deep for Hill. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And this is more of the same right here. These guys have definitely been the aggressors here in the first half. They pushed the envelope in terms of play calls, and that's reflected in the score. And now they're in a position to widen this lead.
And that wound up traveling an even 58 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Michael Thomas with a second touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. CD, that's his second touchdown already. And how about this offense? 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Absolute total team effort right now. And let's face it, I don't think he's done. We're still in the first half. There's a lot of time left to go. I don't know what they're going to do on the other side trying to slow him down. But right now, he's feeling it.
Alonso looked to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3. I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it.
Here we go.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10, right at the 30. They'll set up to throw. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he'll be forced out of bounds all the way down inside the 20. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2.
Here we go.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now it's Burrow. Another one into the hands of Jamar Chase. And the Bengals are going to have a first and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at first and goal.
Here we go.
This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was or whatever the case. Not the throw you're looking for on first and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really, the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. First and goal, and you throw the pick, not good at all.
On first and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And a dangerous throw there on the drop-off. Incomplete, nearly intercepted.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
And he'll take this one up to about the 13. 69 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. There's Kamara trying to run for it. It'll be a Saints first down on a gain of 16 yards. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out and give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Again, it's Kamara. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for Cincinnati. And they've definitely been able to exploit some holes in that opposing secondary, as they threw for close to 200 yards in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Saints, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Both teams going through their final halftime adjustments. We're about ready to get back to football. And to bring you the second half from the Superdome, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bengals with work to do in this third quarter, but they'll get the football first as we are back underway. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
The run on first down gets him a couple up to the 27. Another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air. Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
On one, ready? 11 mighty. 11 MP. 11 MP.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. Paulson and Debo up to make the stop. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Burrow to Boyd there for the Cincy first.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Jet sweep. Boyd with it. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Glad to be in the great city of New Orleans, rolling along here in the third quarter. 2nd and 10. Looking deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Now it's Burrow. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Paulson and Debo. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half, and for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Wants to try to add the PAT. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD. And if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Burrow will throw. Open man is Chase, complete. Finding room at midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
Always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he led him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby.
And the Saints are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day. They're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Dalton. Now on the run, he'll throw it back deep over the middle. He's got a man, complete.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Andy Dalton with his third touchdown pass of the game.
And the Saints will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. Now, a familiar refrain that turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Wants to look to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy two-play drive that time. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. This offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard. Hey, during the course of any game, you'll see tip passes, but how often do we actually see the running back come up and end up making the play?
Well, shifty fella getting in there and grabbing it.
Yeah, you know, they always talk about how running backs have a nose for the end zone. They have a nose for the ball, too. They want in their hands at all times.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Running left, it's Mixon.
And not a whole lot there. Maybe a yard to the 27. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game. And really, they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Here we go.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
Here we go.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. To the air again, Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Jamar Chase.
31 yards.
And the Bengals are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And that will cut this lead down to 25.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
Some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Well, we've reached the stage where it's a mere formality at this point. They've got the comfortable lead. We know what the outcome is going to be. I guess the only question is, do they want to put more points on the board before the final gun?
Well, I certainly hope not, and I'm being selfish here because you and I have flights to catch. Let's go ahead and finish this one off, guys. You've taken care of business. Let's close it out, and you and I, let's get to the airport.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
Right where this setup down started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. Call it a gain of 5, 4th down now.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Fourth down, Dalton wants to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he will at least be able to fall on it himself, but it was 4th down, and the possession changes. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Here's Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
From the 9, 2nd and 5.
Back to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops from one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. It just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the...
Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. A 9-yard touchdown there. And the Bengals' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the fourth quarter after that one, CD. And, well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense. They made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a third and about 4 more for a first.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.